we all are avatars, right? We all must be, otherwise it's inconsistent. That are here, effectively speaking, to come to the point when we realize that we are the avatar. So in other words, avatar is a divine incarnation.
My question is about reincarnation, because, well, especially since COVID, I was more aware of death and the consequences of death. And the way you explain well, I don't know how to put it into in context, you know, because everything I read about reincarnation, it really doesn't resonate to me at all. And then what is the soul, and then how many souls are there in the world, and you see the karma and all that. I think we have enough burdens with our own lives that to bear something else. And well, anyway, I was questioning a lot of things, but I would like to know your point of view, or how to fit into this to make it more clear for me.
How to fit the concept of reincarnation, right? Because let's not forget there is a concept of reincarnation which defined with quite great degree of precision in some traditions. Or you asking me my personal view on reincarnation? Because the concept there is right that reincarnation plays a very big part in Buddhism, in Hinduism, in Jainism. Is a very, very big part. Less so in Abrahamic traditions. So I don't know what. I want to make sure I don't speak about it in remote terms, because yes, there is a concept of reincarnation, right? That. The soul keeps reincarnating from birth to birth based on, to simplify it, unfulfilled desires that are themselves a driving force for this reincarnation. So that whole concept of samsara, that wheel of samsara keeps rotating, keeps spinning, and there is a very distinctive perspective that Hindu faith and many other Asiatic and religions and traditions based on that understanding that the purpose and the goal of spiritual evolution is to hold that ceaseless movement so as to break the chain of this endless rebirthing. In Buddhism in particular, there are whole, very strong, that in Hinduism as well, it's very big on reincarnation and the postulates and tenets, how the whole consensus here, the whole idea is to break that samsara, break away from that samsara. So the whole point is that here the soul is seen to be trapped in this endless reincarnation from where it seems to have no exit. So yes, the reincarnation is there, like one can have countless previous incarnations, whatever they were, whoever that was, and now it's this incarnation, and one has to strive and do the most, because we don't know what's the next incarnation. So this, yes, there is very strongly this understanding. See? So...
Now, what I was wondering, if it's a matter of belief on reincarnation or just take it as a fact. And then, according to what you're saying right now, and these religions, it's a fact. I mean, it's not like I can question, because it doesn't sound right to me. But what is my personal point of view, and I'm wrong, or it doesn't matter really what I think. But yes, this there was a question, your point of view. You said that if I wanted to know your point of view, and it's according to what you explained right now?
No?
Okay. So can I know your point of view?
Well, you know, it's not that I refute this concept. Maybe my understanding of it is not as literal as it used to be with regard to the reincarnation. After all, there is this great support in terms of the carry of the information that the DNA performs, right? How even at the level of neuroscience today, this understanding how this DNA comprised of that memory, right? That is, and this memory is not just obviously just parents, because then they in turn carry that memory of those who are considered to us as grandparents, and so there is that kind of tribally speaking seventh generation being felt and being carried in our bones. So even that is to deny it completely. It seems to me inconsistent, and I've had this being denied, like in many non-dual teachers, and some of them like dismiss that outright, that there's no incarnation. Again, understanding comes here, what perspective we speak of it. If the perspective, from the perspective of the absolute, right? This what reincarnates into what, right? All these are the whirlpools of energy. When at the level of manifestation, it appears as so and so, as this and that. So it can be spoken in a dismissal way that from the ultimate point of view, there's no coming and going. But then again, would that pertain that we dismiss the reality of this world and the reality of this experience? And we already took the stand that expounded and supported by, let's say, the umbrella for these teachings as the Kashmir Shaivism, and the perspective on this whole world, embodied existence, is with one agent only, as awareness, and awareness here expresses itself through every one of us in absolutely equal measure. And what feels as different is this very, very degrees of the way of how energies play themselves out. So in other words, the multiplicity, the variety here is down to this very unique way of how it's all orchestrated. How it's all orchestrated in this otherwise shimmering pool of sound. So my understanding of reincarnation here is that we all are avatars, right? We all must be, otherwise it's inconsistent. That are here, effectively speaking, to come to the point when we realize that we are the avatar. So in other words, avatar is a divine incarnation. So there is incarnation, reincarnation, and divine incarnation. So what I'm saying is, from the point of view of some traditions would be considered blasphemy, because there are classical incarnations, right? There's a classical, like for instance, Mahavatars of Vishnu, all forms, right? The whole evolutionary picture. With all due respect, and I respect this perspective and I love that, to me it seems inconsistent with the picture of how reality expresses itself. Even if when we spoke about these wheels of energy in Mallorca, right, and when we spoke about, so we all are, therefore, all life forms are divine, because that's we are divine reflection, we are divine manifestation. We are divine manifested. So calling it avatar simply means that in this embodiment the possibility is given to recognize that and actualize that. Whether this will take place or not, it's another question. So how does that work with who I was in previous life and in previous life? Well, you see that we can deconstruct that very quickly now. In a deep sleep state, I don't have attributes. In a state of deep sleep, I don't have attributes. In samadhi, I don't have attributes. In samadhi, I'm not so and so, I'm genderless, I'm bodiless, I'm awareness. Simple. In samadhi, in deep sleep, regular experience granted. So, when the body ceases to exist and life force is withdrawn, obviously everything that the body was wearing is also loses its meaning. All these roles and all these stories and narratives, how can they be otherwise? So who has reincarnated? And what history does he have? History is in the costume department. 16th century, 15th century, authentic, gold embroidered, or whatever, then dervish outfit. It doesn't belong to the reality of it. The reality of the situation is this. Stripped bare, always. Translucent, transparent, eminent. And that's what it means. So, if this loftiest preposition, Atman is Brahman, and one's soul, one's unique experience of this aliveness is absolute. It has its source in absolute, and it is absolute. So there cannot be incarnation of the narrative. Doesn't matter what one would now go and try splitting the hairs and convince me, well, what about the DNA? Yes, at that level everything plays, but only in as far as this bodily function is concerned. The nose is like that and nothing I can do about it. I wish I had a nose like Marlon Brando, you know, straight from the profile, you know. No, it's a ducky nose. You know, maybe jawline is okay. Can't complain, right? The waistline has been 32 since 18. Same size jeans. Other things I wish was a bit more, maybe. What can I do? You know, I can pump iron, and you know, I do throw kettlebells from time to time. But you know, like, you cannot alter your, you know, when I look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I like that example, I'm actually get very discouraged, not encouraged. Not now, but when I look at the pictures of his when he was in prime, I don't want it. It defeats my aesthetics. So, bottom line is, to make it very serious, the argument here is very, very simple. The argument is not consistent enough that even if it's culturally supported, that there is any incarnation, because individual does not reincarnate. Individual is left as the shoes left outside. Time to go, my dear. No time for packing. And nothing to take with you, because they don't take anything there. Apparently everyone arrives as they came here. No outfits. So all this collection of fantastic Japanese denim gone to waste. You know, you just like, whoosh. It doesn't even matter what waistline you wear. Nobody measures there, nothing. Nobody gives you even temporary something. And this is very liberating. So what storyline, what anything, so the information field, where is it recorded? That's where it gets interesting. So information must be somewhere, because soul is untouched. The soul level is untouched. The light that illumines it all, life force that entered at whatever time that was appropriate, 3 or 4 months in mommy's tummy. At what point, right? Arguably, how many weeks exactly, but we know that up to 4 months approximately in that trimester, there is no second heart. There's only one pulse, mom's pulse. Okay? Fetus is there, but only one individual, one soul. And then something happens. There is suddenly heartbeat. And from the moment there is a heartbeat, there are 2 souls in one body. So, likewise with the departure, life force leaves. Where the information is recorded? I'm asking again. Where the information field? So this is what's fascinating. So the incarnation, again, can only be spoken in terms of individual. In a previous life, I was so-and-so. And prior to that, I was that and so-and-so. That, what was so-and-so, was not so-and-so. It was that luminous light. And right now it's luminous light. So no one ever incarnates anywhere. It's one source of light. Illumines everywhere equally, through every single heart. So there is no incarnation of individual story. None of that. This understanding is very important, crucial to understand the true problem of rebirth And there is a book entitled by Sri Aurobindo, whom we seems to be going back to during this immersion, even if just on the level of just mentioning his name. There is a slim book, The Problem of Rebirth, where he speaks about this. I read it many, many years ago, but it struck a chord with me until I had these direct experiences of knowing myself as I am and understanding that everything that revolves around that I-amness of that light is this narrative information field, like literally a set of garments. This narrative is some kind of melody, a unique flavor, unique fragrance. So that fragrance, of course, belongs to the essence, but the information of how it will manifest itself, let's say in the next life. Because apparently if I'm so evolved, I have a choice now. I'm bodhisattva. I'm not going to leave behind humankind and just merge with the absolute. That's a bit of a selfish kind of act. You gain this freedom, and now you're going to just get off, you know. Bye, guys. See you later. Enjoy the show. I'm done. Okay? Sorry. Haven't tried hard enough. Ha ha! No, Bodhisattva doesn't do that. Bodhisattva vows 1,000 times I will incarnate if need be, and will be human again and again. Please don't you try that I am like, you know, oh, I remember him taking a Mickey out of Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is lofty, you know, I bow with great respect to this very, very compassionate concept, and it is indeed to exemplify, to underscore the importance. So the Bodhisattva is the one, particularly there is this Bodhisattva Avalatikesvara, the one who vows to incarnate, if need be, 1,000 times until every sentient beings, not just human beings, every sentient beings attained state of enlightenment. This is a core message, idea in some schools of Buddhism, certainly in Mahayana. So you see that concept of choosing even, right? I have a choice to say goodbye, and I have a choice to reincarnate. I will reincarnate out of my own will. So this is why all these talks about past life recessions, you know, like people, there are informations that can come when this psychic experiences which will give us the sense of something is like, and it's like, how do I know that experience? I never experienced it in this life, you know, so where's that information? All that. Of course, on a daily basis, casually, we could say that, like we look at our children, how that child of yours speaks, and it's very different than that, and it feels sometimes like, where is that information coming from? So, of course, at that level, we may be willing to entertain these ideas, you know? Oh, that maybe your grandma reincarnated or something like that. See? And it's a kind of maybe sweet, pleasing idea as well, right? Like, ooh, keeping it all in the family. Huh? But it poses problem with regard to if we look at it with clarity, that applying this, that if we speak about this as that which animates everything, life force in the body, life force does not have personal traits. It doesn't carry personal traits, but the information comes with it. So that information that comes with it is the most interesting and fascinating thing. See? That information. So, how is it carried? Where? See? So, would that be then legitimate to say, well, then there is this incarnation? Yes and no. It's not legitimate because the person doesn't reincarnate. So it will not be individual reincarnation. Therefore, I propose something else. Everyone is an avatar because everyone is equally light. Everyone is equally an expression of the luminosity of awareness. Everywhere. Everyone. Everything. So, reflect on this and you see it might become clearer and answers will come to you which are your own. If it helps some people to have these understandings, like let's say cultural understandings of reincarnation, which is also linked to future life, obviously, because then it has that continuity. For the religious purposes, it serves the purpose in the community, because one is then more attentive to one's way of being, one's actions, right? Because it will impact the future incarnation. So we can't discard cultural concepts because they are serving, they are in service. So like, just what, we're going to go and start educating people. And, oh, you know what, let's go to India and free India from reincarnation beliefs. That sounds to me too missionary. It's like, we don't want to do that. No. So, in Christianity, there is a belief in the afterlife, in the Abrahamic traditions, in the afterlife. This life is just a transitory, just a passing through. It's just something like, that until life eternal. So, is it true? Is that the reality of the situation? So these are my personal thoughts on reincarnation. So,
thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Marta.
Clarifying.
So bottom line is, welcome to the family of avatars. Yeah.